Welcome to Solo Selling with Trev White. Tonight I'm doing a book review. I'm talking about breathing and mouth taping. And a chick I met in the Kraken bar in Tonga who sent me down the rabbit hole of mouth taping to increase my performance for freediving. So I was at the Kraken bar in Tonga. It was a warm night. It was a wet night. It had been raining all day. Esther, Justine, Pierre and myself had just taken the dinghy from the yacht, which was about 100 metres away, over to the little wharf out the front of the Kraken to have a few drinks. So I'd managed to get to the bar. I got a few rumbos under my belt. I was chatting with the crew from Little Fish. There was Richard and Jeff, and I'd had, quite a few drinks. We were chatting, we were talking shit. It was a wet, crappy sort of night. You didn't really want to go back to the boat, so just hanging out, having pizza, as you do when you're cruising. And I might have had a few too many rumbos. And then Esther came over. She had a friend called Alice, or met a friend called Alice, and she was talking to Esther about trying to find a berth from Tonga to Fiji. So we were planning to sail from Tonga across to Fiji, Savu in the next week or two, and Alice was looking for a berth. So I was very non-committal because I just didn't feel like I had enough berths. I had Esther, Justine, Pierre already on the boat, and they were planning on sailing to Savu in Fiji, and I didn't really feel like I had enough room. Certainly not enough room for a good-looking American stunt woman. So Alice was a actress slash stunt woman. Yeah, looking for a berth. I didn't think she was going to have too many problems finding one. She was quite attractive. But that's where the night started to get really quite weird, and we started having a conversation about breathing and mouth taping, whatever the hell mouth taping is. So I was talking to Alice about freediving, and she was a freediver also, and she was freediving down to 80 metres, or some ridiculous depth, and it was certainly well outside of my capacity at that time, and I was trying to increase my freediving capacity after recovering from a brain injury, a bleed on the brain, which had decreased my capacity for breath holds. So I've been sort of doing exercises. Wasn't really getting anywhere with it. It was frustrating because I like spearfishing, and I just couldn't get the depths I wanted or stay underwater long enough. So here we were talking about mouth taping. But have you ever noticed how breath changes when you're a bit stressed? It gets shallow and rapid, right? But what if there's a way to unlock that power of your breathing? Calms your nerves in check, improve your sleep, boost your brain power, and even enhance your freediving skills. So this is where I found this conversation with Alice and a book called Breath. So this book is all about breathing techniques and goes into a great deal about mouth taping. And Alice is explaining this to me. I mean, had a few drinks, so it was a little sketchy, but what she was saying stuck in the back of my head. It sounded quite interesting, and I was quite keen to try and get better capacity for freediving. So the basic breathing and the impact on you. You think of your breath as a fuel that powers your body and your mind. Each inhalation delivers oxygen, and this is to your cells, while each exhalation removes waste products from your cells. And we breathe unconsciously. We take shallow breaths. We don't fully engage the lungs. Or if we're exercising, we might take deep breaths, and that might not be that great either. But this can lead to a range of issues from fatigue, anxiety, poor sleep, and decreased cognitive function. And I'd been suffering with some issues with my brain, just not performing as I felt it should be ever since I'd had a bleed on the brain. It had taken a long time to recover from that surgery. But I'd also been researching, and I'd been in this world of researching people to increase your cognitive function of your brain, and a lot of it comes down to what they believe is inflammation. So I've been doing a lot of meditation, been studying Nidra Yoga, not studying it to teach it, but to do it, and I'd been using it quite regularly, and I felt that it made a huge difference to me. It also made a huge difference when I was in a lot of pain. So when I had the bleed on the brain, it didn't matter how many painkillers I was taking, I couldn't control the pain. The one thing that did was Nidra Yoga. So I'd already stepped into this world of alternative medicine, and some of it was working for me. And then I came across a guy called Wim Hof. So he's a Dutch dude. He's the author of The Iceman. He's famous for being able to withstand extremes of hot and cold, breathing, running, all sorts of crazy stuff from, his his power of his mind and his breathing techniques. So I'd been using some of these techniques when I was in Europe on a previous trip. I'd had a really bad ear infection, couldn't get rid of it. It'd gone on for weeks. I'd found Wim Hof's method, so I'd started doing his breathing and the cold showers. And this is in the middle of winter, it's not desirable to hop into a cold shower when it's already -5 outside. But I was doing it. I was determined to get rid of these ear infections, and yeah, they left. I felt a lot better using these techniques. It's not for the faint-hearted. You've got to hop into a freezing cold shower and it's already cold, but it was making a difference. And then I also read a book by Patrick McCowan called The Oxygen Advantage. Advocates nasal breathing as opposed to breathing through your mouth. And this is for improvements in athletic performance. And then, along comes Alice and throws me into a rabbit hole with James Nestor and the book Breath. So he is talking about the forgotten art of breathing. And all of these people are on the same path, same tangent, different ways of looking at things, different ways of applying it, but it's all essentially the same stuff. It's taking an alternative view to what we do normally and unconsciously. And this led me to mouth taping. So, Alice is talking about mouth taping at the bar. It's noisy, it's loud. Had a few rumbos. Sounded incredibly weird and strange. But, after reading the book, I started doing it. And some people swear by taping their mouths while they sleep. Mouth taping encourages nasal breathing, and it has several benefits. One of the ones that stuck out for me is it reduces snoring. And I can snore like a pig when I've been on the reds. It's something that is a bit frustrating, and it's also frustrating from a crew. If I go out and have a few reds with them, I can be quite noisy. I shut the cabin, but people still complain occasionally. So mouth taping, if you've got your mouth taped, you can't snore, or it reduces it significantly. It's also a way of opening up your airways. Snoring is generally because you're drunk, you're relaxed, and your airways get closed. You start snoring. Mouth taping is eliminating it. Giving up the booze would probably help as well, but hey, we're all human. The other things that it does, it improves your sleep quality. So nasal breathing filters the warm air, leading to deeper, more restful sleep. It enhances athletic performance. Nasal breathing promotes oxygen intake, improves stamina and endurance, boosts brain power, better oxygen airflow, focus, memory, cognitive function, something that I was really keen on improving with my recovery from a brain injury, and freediving. So a lot of freedivers are doing mouth taping. They're also doing a great many different types of breathing exercise. And it's the breathing exercises, and maybe with a combination of the mouth taping, which is improving their athletic performance for freediving. Pushing greater depths, longer endurance, it works. These people are living proof of incredible underwater performance. For me, not so much. I do think the injury I had, brain, has affected some of my breathing capacity, but I'm working through that. Doesn't stop me. I just keep plugging away. But with the mouth taping, you got to remember it might not be for everybody. You need to sort of maybe chat to your doctor about it, or at least do a lot of reading. It's not something you just go and do. I've read a few of these books. I've looked at the positives and negatives, and for me, I think it's a positive. So I've been doing this for a while. I don't do it every night. I should, but I know when I do it, I feel much better from that night's sleep. Also, you don't wake up with that dry mouth feeling. You just, overall, I feel better. A lot of ancient cultures practice this. So I don't, there's a whole range of other things I'm doing. I try to eliminate breads and grains, dairy, try and focus on more of a keto diet, although I'm not religious about it. So I think mouth taping is just one tool in a whole bag of tools to help improve your life, your lifestyle, your general health. And let's face it, that's why we're out sailing. We're out, enjoying life, trying to enjoy what is on offer, the places we visit, improve our general well-being, escape the office, the 9 to 5, improve our health, enjoy life. Thought I'd just talk about it. Maybe you can benefit from it also. But, I find the three authors are all worth reading. They're all good books. They're all a little bit different, but there's something in there for everybody. And, I've learned quite a bit from each of these authors about different aspects of my overall health and well-being. And I thought it's probably worth sharing. So my short book review, and the book I recommend initially would be Breath. It's by James Nestor, The New Science of a Lost Art. Well worth reading. I read these on Audible generally. When I'm sailing, I have Audible on my phone. put in some earbuds, sailing along, and I'm reading a book. And I read a book every day half the time. I spend quite a bit of money on books. I find Audible is really good for me because I like learning. I like reading a lot of different types of books, a lot of science and futures type stuff. Health related information, also location related. So listening to a podcast or a audio, excellent for sailing, because I often I'm doing things, so it's not suitable to sit down in a cockpit. So yeah, Audible works for me at this time. So yeah, give it a try and see you out there. Safe sailing.